Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout this week. We are persisting with this Falcon. I know you're probably bored of it by now, but I'm not. So we are today doing all of the brake system upgrades or downgrades, depending on how you look at it. We're going to be fitting a hydraulic handbrake, and we're going to be removing the ABS from the system entirely. On a Falcon, that's a little bit difficult because on the master cylinder, they run a mix of 1/4-inch line and 3/16 line. So basically that means that the fittings in the master cylinder are not standard 10x1. The rear circuit is 10x1 luckily, and the front is 12x1. So we've got some reducers, we've got all sorts of different fittings and hardline from Raceworks. We've also got some braided brake lines from Hell again, basically the same setup that we did with Gian's Falcon. I've refined that a little bit for this car. Sorry, bro. And yeah, we've got a GK hydraulic, as usual, using those things again. They're not a sponsor of ours, but we've been using those handbrakes for a while and they actually work really well. So yeah, I still recommend them. They're a pretty good thing. So going to tear into this thing, rip all the brake lines out, and then be sad because there'll be brake fluid everywhere, but that's going to be the aim of the game. We'll bleed the brakes up, obviously. We might even flush the clutch if we've got time, because the clutch fluid looks older than me. So yeah, we'll give it a bash. Let's get on in. ABS.
You said this differs from mine a little bit, this ABS system?
BA has a 3-channel ABS. So basically that means that it only has one output for both rear wheels, whereas BF, I don't know if all BFs do, but definitely BF XR series has a 4-channel ABS, which is, it's actually surprising how late Ford used 3-channel, because other manufacturers have been using 4-channel ABS since the 80s. So it's just a cost-cutting thing, I guess, and typically they haven't really needed it. They used it more so in the Utes, but I was actually surprised to see it in your Falcon. Maybe just the XT, like the base model stuff, has 3-channel. Maybe the higher stuff already had 4-channel, but yeah, irrelevant to this setup, so it's all going to go in the bin anyway. I am going to keep, however, the ABS pump there for now. I will delete it eventually, but the problem currently is that the ABS actually generates the vehicle speed into the ECU, and until we actually tell the ECU not to worry about it, it'll just go into limp mode and the whole car won't work. So the ABS pump will stay there so that we can drive it for now, but eventually we'll tune it. It needs a tune anyway, because old mate who put the headers in never did their oxygen sensor set up properly, so now it sees the cat as being out of range. Which doesn't matter for our setup, being it's not registered anymore. Yeah, it's a race car now, so we'll just get Omar to give it a bit of a touch up on the tune and turn all the codes off so the check engine light's not flashing 24/7. But yeah, we'll bin the ABS pump sooner or later, but today we're going to hydraulically delete it, but yeah, electronically it'll stay for now, because then we can use it. And Gian's pushing me to run it in 4 days, so no pressure. You know what the one annoying thing is? I'm not going to have any steering lock or good suspension.
Oh, of course.
I don't have, Shockworks are building the coilovers at the moment. I'm not going to have time to do the lock mods beforehand. It's going to be the lockless monster.
Yeah, fair.
For now.
I remember thinking...
How was yours before we did the lock mods on it?
Honestly, I hated it.
Oh, good. Can't wait.
Yeah, it just definitely didn't have... They don't have much steering lock.
Which is weird for a rear-wheel drive car. I'm just worried the rear springs are going to fall out of it.
Yeah, if you go over a bump big enough and it...
No, it won't. It is cold enough that my hands aren't working properly, but it's still not cold enough to wear pants.
Meanwhile, I've got 3 pairs of pants on.
Captain 3 pants. Probably would have been smarter to mount the handbrake first and run the hydraulic lines, but we're here now. See your lines. So that's a 12x1 to 10x1 flare adapter, because as I said, the front circuit or master cylinder circuit 1 is a 1/4-inch line or a 6mm line instead of a 3/16 line. So we'll adapt this back to 3/16 because we don't need it. Click.
Recycling.
Well, I'm just going to use this to block that master off because it's leaking still. Conveniently, the ABS pump identifies each line. So you've got left front, left rear. That'll be right front, right rear. So they've paired the fronts and the rears together. Some pumps pair the corners.
What other reason other than installing a hydraulic handbrake would you need to know? What goes to where?
Possibly for diagnosis, like if you've got a blocked line, you can undo that line and run air through it to clear it or test it or whatever. General maintenance probably really don't need to know any of that, but it is handy when you're trying to identify stuff. I don't think I've ever encountered a ABS pump that's not labelled, but no doubt there'd be one out there on something. As I mentioned before, we've now got to tee both of these lines together and run a new hard line from the master cylinder. I'm just going to run it over to here purely because the lines are here. It's a neat, convenient spot. I could run the T-piece over to that side, but then it's actually going to mean joining this line anyway. So putting a joint in and then putting a T-piece in, it doesn't really make sense. So admittedly, it's not the prettiest, and we may revisit it one day, but today's not that day. Crunchy. Just like a chocolate milkshake. So I'm just gonna somewhat straighten those out of the way for a minute.
Someone gonna yell at you for bending those lines?
Probably.
I'll make sure to leave a comment.
So I think what I'm gonna do is tee it. I'll run another line. That's probably the best option, because I'll straighten this one to come up, and then the third one will come into the top.
Which is the third one?
I've got to make it.
Coming from that side?
Yep.
Yep, nice.
We'll make our third line before we actually terminate anything. I think what I'm going to do is actually just copy this line for the most part. Unfortunately, like I said, it's the wrong size. This is a 1/4 inch line, or 6 mil, depending on what part of the world you're from. But it'll serve as a good template anyway, and we'll just make it till about here and then freestyle it a bit. But I'm just going to measure roughly the tube length, and then I'll cut it off the roll. This will be a very challenging measure. Imagine making this line at a factory. Although they'd probably have some mad template thing where they just thread a straight bit of tube in and just go. No, they'd probably cut it to length exactly. This is going to be like horrendous.
How exact do you need to be? What's the tolerance
Not
here?
that great, because
Yeah.
I'll make it longer.
I like your technique. Then you don't have to use math until you get to that point. Should the title of this video be Kinky Measuring?
No.
Okay.
Just call it a meter, I reckon.
Wow, that's impressive.
What, how bad that was?
Yeah, sure.
Just juggling shit. And I can have as many goes as I like at this line and no one will ever know, because it's the magic of video.
Someone's going to count how many loop overs there are, and
Yeah. The internetologists will come out.
I'll let them know, don't worry.
Yeah, of course you will. Good bloke. Nailed it.
Sorry, what was the key?
Forget the nut. That was a joke for anyone who's ever made a brake line.
Is that why you order that much line? The reason that you keep heavy stuff on the bottom shelf of this bench is so that when you do stuff like this, the bench stays in place.
Did you just make that up?
Pretty sure I've heard you say it in the past.
Never once.
No?
No.
Okay, maybe I made it up. Is that smart though?
I guess.
Thanks. Then I did make it
I'll
up.
give you that one. This could go horrendously wrong real early.
Well, you'd rather it go horrendously wrong real early than
Yeah, I mean,
the last bend, right?
It's already a bit but
Yeah.
it's also like open to interpretation.
Once you make the bend, I'm assuming you can't really bend it back much. Is that right?
Not a heap.
So you'd rather undercook it than
Yeah, but
than
the
over.
problem is trying to get the angles and shit too. This is probably not really the way to do it, but it's going to do for what I want.
How
I
would
feel
you
like
think?
I'm bad, Chad.
How do you think the textbook way of doing this
Pay
would
someone
be?
else.
Yeah, I see.
We can tweak the angles and stuff once it's made a bit.
I mean, from here on the tiny screen, it looks bang on.
Well, all it's going to be is like clocking, so there is going to be some level of adjustment. I'm actually less bummed about it already. Like, it's doing better than I was anticipating. I do like this stainless line. Thanks, Jamie. Some of the bends aren't bang on, but it's less painful than I thought, though. I'm actually not displeased with that at all.
Yeah, it looks good.
Because that'll go there. Actually, I might even put it on the top hole. So all I need now is got to bend it about there. I think I'll just mark it with a texter and bend it. Because what I'm going to do is I'll do this one first.
Yep.
And then just cut those other lines to suit. So bend there, cut there. But the problem is you've got to put this nut on before you bend it.
Oh, of course.
Because otherwise you're not going to have enough material to actually crimp.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, sorry, flare, not crimp. Chat's lit today. So I need to put a 90 on this, but I need to make sure that we're going the right way, because that goes there. So it's got to go straight down. So that's going to have to go down now. So that'll get bent down, and then we'll put a nut on it. And what I'll do, we'll lift this line up, flare it, and then push it back down.
Whatever you say.
Just smile and nod, bro.
Yeah, today's one of those days I got no idea what's going on.
Sick.
It's all you. So you're going to tighten it from there, and now at least you know that's solid and set. You can start tweaking and bending.
Yeah,
the
so
rest.
that's locked in.
Yeah.
And then I've just got to bend that hard line a bit, because see how it's crept up now? Now it's kind of in position.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a bit of a... Yeah, I'll have to put a joggle in this line now.
Is joggle a technical term?
Yes, although I think I can just do it by hand. Because yeah, again, I'm going to finish it there. So we'll cut that. I got this cutter to do on-car stuff. There we go. So we're going to use the good flaring tool, but we've got to do it dodgy because it's obviously not designed to be used. Remember when we did yours, we had to use the Stilsons to steady this?
Yes, that's right.
So that's all we've got to do again.
Okay.
It's
Is it a tripod thing?
No, I can probably do it myself.
Or are you going to use your mouth hand?
Yeah, I might use my mouth hand. People could take that different ways. Don't love this, but it does get the job done. It's definitely not the right way to do it.
Once again, what is the textbook way?
Buy an on-car tool. But the problem is that tool's not cheap.
Yeah, of course.
And for the volume of brake lines that I do on the car, it's really not. I feel comfortable enough doing it this way because I can make it work.
I mean, if it works, right?
You think that, but have you met people on the internet? The problem is I probably cut that line a tad short.
For the tolerance of tightening
It's just now tightening it up and pulling the line a bit.
Understood.
But we'll get away with it. Because the problem I got is now it doesn't want to stay in that T-piece, in that bracket. There we go. Dare I try the on-car flare just for fun?
I mean, it's not a Monday, so maybe it'll work.
Yeah. The annoying thing is though, it's actually not flat there. So I'm gonna have to bend that like that.
Because it starts to
firewall's
kick off.
actually curved.
Yeah, right.
Glorious. So I'm just using that bolt to locate that for now. The other block's also gonna go at the same spot.
Obviously, the two lines here are going to be...
That's both the rears. So we've got to tee both of those into this T-piece. The handbrake goes directly into this T-piece as well. So yeah, a little bit of playing around with that in that regard, but not too bad.
Can you rattle off on that T-piece that you just installed?
So that is the front brake circuit.
Okay, and so what's the top one? Top one?
The top one is the supply from the master cylinder to the block. So this is now, the new one is the front brake circuit effectively, because originally it was that larger line that ran from there over to the ABS pump.
Yep. And then what else do we have in that front one? What's the one?
So the one running back is the right front wheel, and then the one running down is the left front wheel.
Ah, right.
So because same deal, it went from master to the pump, out of the pump.
Yep.
So basically now I've just completely bypassed the pump until we can tune it to delete the pump altogether.
Cool.
Because we don't need it.
So just to confirm, you don't have ABS now because it's not connected to that module.
Zero.
Yep.
But what I will do actually is cut all the hard lines, and I'll probably just use them to block the fittings. because it may try to ABS,
Right.
because it probably still thinks there's ABS.
Yeah. Oh, you don't need front windscreen?
No,
Nope.
there's not going to be a washer bottle after today. Or the next time I pull the front bar off. I got little mount thingies so that the front bar's not going to pull off all the time.
Ah, yeah, cool.
But I don't know if that's a today problem.
Are they those like quick release?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, just
cool.
push in, push out, buttony doos.
Yep. Smart. I like it. I don't know if I love the look of it, but I love the functionality.
Yeah, I'm not about the style of it, but I mean,
Yeah.
it'll get the job done. So
You ordered this custom made, did you?
yeah, so Hell made these for me. But when we did your car, I just guessed 2 meters and that worked. So I've just gone with that again.
Okay. Cool.
But the one thing is different between this and your car is obviously we're going directly from the brake master cylinder into the cabin rather than teeing off the lines in both spots.
Yep.
So, I mean, it will work. It's just going to be working out the routing of it. And the problem is that may mean drilling more than one hole in the car. But the one thing that I do need to make sure, because one of these is going into a metric fitting and one of these is going into an imperial fitting. So the imperial one's coarser. Sick. That is the output side, which should be smaller. I really hope that they got that right.
Did you mean to colour match the blue line with the blue car?
I did.
Yeah,
Do you like
did.
that?
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you like
I
that?
do.
I thought being that it's not a road car, I'll go all out with all the colours and stuff. If it was a road car, I would have gone black.
Is it easier to identify on the fly as well? Oi!
You know what's funny? I was actually going to get a black one, but
Yeah.
it was already pre-filled out blue, and I'm like, well, that's a sign. Like, because there's like 20 different colours or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the pre-checked one was blue, and I'm like, well, if it ain't broke. I'm annoyed they've dropped that master and just sent it though. Like, that's a bit shitty. I do love a good, oh, we've never had that before. So we got 716-4 they call it, if you're looking at thread standards. Don't know why it's -4 in and -3 out, but this is a bad time. Turns out I actually have an M12 banjo bolt, not sure why. That's a bit weird.
Actually, that's another thing I noticed about these bolts is they're all like concaved. Is there a reason for that?
The top,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe for strength, maybe lightweightness.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like if you're worrying about the weight of your banjo bolt, you're probably not building a car to our level. Well, we're an hour and a half in and I've made 2 brake lines. Go team.
Is that no good?
I would have preferred to be further along now,
yeah,
but
righto.
it is what it is too, you know. I take back what I said about this tool. It works well when you get it sorted, but it's not as easy as it looks. And getting that like all aligned and working together is a bit of a dick around. It is definitely easier than trying to, once the process is started, it's definitely easier than trying to manhandle the other tool with the Stilsons.
Oh,
mate.
sorry. Was that to camera to your head?
Yeah, it's alright, I'm used to it now. Smoko truck.
I am surprised that they don't roll into here.
Well, I think the problem is that it's so inconsistent on who's here and who's not.
Ah, that's right. Yep, we've had this conversation.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely don't need any more Red Bulls. That'll work. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst.
I like the spacer idea too.
Yeah, I was going to machine the spacer down, but I feel like wasting 10 minutes on the lathe at this point is probably not the greatest idea. Yeah, the hardest part is on car flaring, for sure. But that tool working better than it has ever, I'm stoked with that. So the Falcon line is obviously a different grade of material.
Right, okay.
If they put more nickel in it, it's more brittle.
Okay.
So like typically when you've got stainless line, that's why it's brittle, because it's got a lot of nickel in it.
Okay.
Don't forget the backer nut.
So why do Americans call a nickel? And what is a nickel? What's
You'll
the
never
value
believe why,
of a nickel?
because there's nickel in it.
Ah, but what about the other coins? They don't have as much nickel? And nickel's worth less than the other material?
I don't know all of the answers.
What?
I'm not a coinologist.
I sent you the research notes. No.
Guess what? Just
not
like
that
my
organised.
homework, I didn't do it. So now we'll get that done. Did I f up?
Oh,
I'm
no.
pretty sure I just f up.
How so? Oh no!
I've done it. I've done it.
Yeah, you should have been sus on the fact that it went in so easy and seemed
You know
easy.
why? Because I put it on and then I had to take it off
Yes.
to straighten that tube.
And then I was distracting you with trying to chat about steering lock.
And this, friends, is what happens when invariably you flare a brake line or any line without the backing nut. It obviously happens so much that some pipe cutters actually have a provision to cut the flare. So see this step in the roller?
Oh, wow.
That's literally so you can cut on the back of the flare with minimal wastage. They know.
So I'm thinking because you don't have much steering lock, you're probably going to have to run a really wide line at the wet pan.
Why?
You don't need as much steering angle with the wider line as you would with a tighter line.
Right.
That's what I found anyway. Prove me wrong.
Okay.
So basically I'm just jaying you up to run the wall.
I'm not running the wall, bro.
First time
I'm not
out.
going to run the wall in a brand new car.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you people? You and Adam, man, you're just like, you just want to see me waste money. Like you think I've got heaps of it. Works heaps better when you put the backer nut on. Last flare for the day. Hopefully.
And you said this was the easy part.
Yeah. Well, it is and it isn't.
Or it's just all difficult.
Just mounting the handbrake sucks.
Yep.
After dealing with your one.
Yeah.
Although I am considering doing it a different way. But because it's all theoretical, I'll actually look at it before I voice my concepts.
It's very wise.
Just thinking about doing it a bit different, and because mine's got no console or anything in it, I'm going to potentially put it in a different spot.
Could you be super efficient and install it for the right hand so you can shift gears whilst hydroing?
Jesus. Psycho. I could, but I won't. This definitely hasn't bent in the right spot either. I'm going to bend that by hand the rest of the way, I think.
Is there a limit to the angle
Yeah,
before it starts being
it'll
restricted?
split after a certain point.
Do these lines sort of work themselves out after a heat cycle?
No.
Or is it, okay.
No, we are working them out.
Yeah, I see.
The working out is happening before your eyes. So that's reverse. So we obviously don't want to make it wide enough that it's going to clash with that. And you're not going to pull this with the handbrake up anyway. So that there. I'd be very surprised if I'm ever drifting fifth. You're also not going to pull the hydraulic with it in reverse. I reckon just pretty much there, eh? I need to put the master cylinder in to check clearance that way. It's all coming back to me now. Call me Celine Dion. Oh, all the Falcon PTSDs are coming back now. Probably get away with it there. It's definitely going to hit in fifth, but realistically, how much fifth gear drifting am I going to be doing?
Yeah, hopefully not
Unless
much.
I put it further back. I mean, I could put it like here.
It's probably better than the diagonal you had before, but why can't you like push it further forwards? Oh, because then that gear boot is in the way.
That's too far.
Yeah, your wrist doesn't.
It almost would have been better if I got a reverse one
Oh, I see.
and put it there like that, and then have it forward.
Yeah. I didn't know you could do that.
We can get other ones that work the other way, that the pivot points at the top.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it goes.
Do you want to play the guess the time game?
11:25.
Not quite. Do you want to go again?
I was close. I was within 15 minutes, pretty much.
11:07.
That's better than I thought. I thought you were going to tell me it's 12 o'clock because you're getting hungry.
Well, I am getting hungry, but because we did an
started
early
early.
start, my stomach's saying it's 12 o'clock,
Needs
but
the Scooby snacks.
I already dipped into those.
So it can't clash with reverse in the fact that when it's resting, it's hitting reverse, because that'd just be annoying trying to get it in reverse when it's hitting. I know yours is further forward, but your seating position is also further forward.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
your one's like
True.
way up here.
Yes, but that's, yeah, you're right, because I do
So
sit.
you sit further forward, so I'd
Yeah.
rather have it further back, because then worst case, someone who's really short is going to be a little bit cramped.
Mine, I don't think it had that rubber boot there
No, it
either.
doesn't. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what's kind of causing the drama a little bit. But I think there is probably not too bad, as long as we can get some alpha. Have to look at how hard it is to get that bracket out.
That
I
looks
think
difficult. Those.
Well, it unbolts from the bottom. Like
Okay.
they're just studs.
Oh, okay.
So
makes
it'll unbolt
sense.
from the bottom, the whole thing just lifts out.
Yeah. For how many hydros exist in the world, I think that this is a pretty difficult install.
Yeah, there's probably, well, a lot of S chassis stuff they have off-the-shelf kits for it too, though.
Oh, so you're going to have to drop the gearbox
Yeah.
down to access that.
to
area.
get that, yeah, because it's all above the shifter.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that it's not too far. Sorry, I'm hoping that it will come down far enough.
Yeah, true.
I can go, oh, really?
Actually, that's how mine was too,
Yeah, I
remember?
remember.
But I remember the issue with mine being that to drill through, it wasn't, you can never line it up because of the angle and the whole double skin thing. So I think you said this way you're going to try it slightly different.
Yeah, so the bracket, so building on the top of that other bracket will mean that that potentially won't be a problem. Seems I put too much slice on.
Never too much slice.
Definitely is too much slice. Car's faster now.
That thing looks heavy.
It is heavy. It's a good bin squasher.
What did we figure out that was? Like some exhaust?
It's like a noise dampener.
Righto.
It's not needed.
Yeah.
In a road car, there's probably some resonance, like tail shaft resonance or something that it dampens.
Yeah.
But for this car, not critical. Yeah, I just want the box to be not hanging there while we bring it back down, because I only need to drop the box to get that bracket. But the problem is I probably got to undo the shifter, which I need the box to be in the top position for, because otherwise it'll pull down through that boot. Please be 13, please be 13, please be 13, yes. Do you know what I hate about new seats? Just putting stuff on them. Like when it's an old seat, you're like, oh, I'll just sit stuff on there or whatever. That's literally why I just clean my hands. Like I don't want to get in the car with dirty hands.
Yeah.
To touch my new seats.
So that's the advantage of buying a second-hand seat over getting a brand new one.
I do love my seats though. I don't want to go just going, oh yeah, no, we're never going to be in 5th gear or whatever.
Yeah, of course. If you can make it work, you definitely should.
See, by that logic, I almost want to put it further forward and go back to our original thought of having it up here.
That's right. That's where mine is.
Yeah, yours is way forward.
Yeah.
Do I then just cut this bracket up and use that back hole to be the mounting point then? Like take that stud out and put a bolt through there. I think that's probably going to be the most logical thing, hey? Like literally just put it there. Like yeah, it's going to encroach on that boot a little bit, but I don't think that's really going to be an issue. And that's further forward, that's 5th, that's reverse. Because then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, reverse.
But like you said, you're never going to be ripping the hydro in reverse, so...
No, I'm thinking more so that this doesn't clash with that when going into reverse. Like, I don't want it to be like there.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I'll just have to make sure that we can adjust the push rod
true.
far enough out. But it will also be flatter and lower too, so I think that's the go, hey. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's satisfying to watch.
It's neat enough. I have to get the vacuum cleaner out again, because that'll go in there. It just entirely depends what that tunnel looks like. Because looking at the spot welds, it looks like that's where the double skin starts.
Which you don't want to encroach on just for the fact that it doesn't line up when you try and drill through it.
It doesn't work, yeah. But what I might actually do is cut this so that it's only got the 3. And then we'll just through bolt that 4th one.
Okay.
I think that'll work. The only thing I need to be mindful of is that hole there, where that's going to end up. It's just there. Like to get that spacing.
Yeah.
So now I know that's going to be there. What I'll do is I'll cut this, drill the holes. So I've only got to drill those 3 holes. Single skin for the win. That one here, double skin. May I have a hammer, please, sir?
Yes. Oh, is it to like pinch them together?
To crush this down.
Yeah, nice.
It's kind of working.
And you're going to re-drill that just to make sure it's lined up, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I'll just bash it through again. But that now means that that will sit flat within reason. The shit thing's going to be trying to get the hydro in and mounted, because I'm literally going to have to put the bracket in bare to get that front bolt in. Because the good thing about this is too, this will actually spread the load through the tunnel, because I'm going to be pulling on using this back edge on this.
Oh, cool. So this is almost like acting as a washer.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just going to spread the load throughout the tunnel more so. I'm annoyed because now I'm like, oh, we could have done yours so much better.
That's fine. It's actually interesting to see, you know, if you had your time again.
Yeah. Literally a do-over.
Smart.
So we're going to knock all that down. Now that there's no center console, like it's just in the way. Just use all the standard bolts for this one.
So is that enough room for you to
Unless I
work?
get a marginally longer one. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
But you'll probably need to be up there.
I'll need to be
Up there to tighten, to put the Allen key in.
Yeah, no worries.
Righto, so you got pressure on that front one.
Yep.
Might be a two-man deal.
Ah, yeah, alrighty, yeah. Am I meant to like...
Just don't let it touch if possible.
Oh, it's already touched. It's
Now.
skimmed it. It skimmed it.
Oh, that's all right. It's happy now anyway. Yeah, cool. Cool. Now, the tunnel's crushed in, that is going to hit. I think there's going to be a an angle grinder party. T.
Are you laughing at your own labelling?
No, I'm laughing at the length of the hose.
You're going to pull the excess through the...
Yeah, I'll put it under the dash somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, we're not running out of hose, that's for sure. Because it's not a 10 mil, why would it be?
What is it, like 11?
Yeah.
That really throws a spanner in the works.
Get in the bin. Can you go in the car and pull the lines through?
So both at once?
Yep.
Yep. Oh,
Jesus.
God. I definitely knocked out the grommet.
The grommet wasn't in, I don't think.
Okay.
Feels pretty sturdy, eh? The test will be pulling back on it.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, because we've gone through that tunnel bracing on the front side, that's the only way it's going to feel weird that way is if it crushes the tunnel on the back side.
You think it's not fully crushed at the moment together?
No, as far as like, just because it's only single skin through the back hole, like if it tries to fold.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this tunnel, the boot cover thingo, will kind of spread the load a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be surprised if it folded or did anything weird with how it's been installed.
Pretty happy with the positioning though.
Yeah.
Reverse touches, but then it doesn't, like it's not.
It's just the finesse of the technique, right?
Well, the rubber bushes are flogged in here too. Like
Yep.
there's so much movement in that shifter. I'll see if I can get a better shifter. Either get an insert for that, or maybe there's like a solid shifter. Or maybe I'll even modify this one and just make this one solid. Just machine up some bushes to just bolt it together directly. Get rid of all the funky stuff.
How is it that you have that carbon fibre-y
I don't know, it was already on there.
thing? Yeah.
It's a bit on
'Cause
the
remember
dodge though.
Yeah, because remember we tried to twist the one that
Yeah.
I've got off and...
Well, I think it's literally just full of tape because there's tape.
Ah, right.
So it's probably got some dodgy, like screw-on adapter. It's definitely not the best.
This is a can of worms. I can feel it. So it is a thread.
Nah, they've bodged it on
I
there.
understand.
They've bodged that
somehow
thread
ripped-
onto. Yeah. They'll probably change it with a likewise knob or something sooner or later.
Yeah.
I've got one on the shelf, but I've got to get a adapter for it. Alpha.
Alpha?
Reverse.
I like it. I also like the reverse click noise you've got now, so you know that it's engaged into reverse. Yeah.
And you could still pull the hydro in reverse.
I mean,
I don't know what that would do.
yeah.
Some stunt guy would have done that for sure at some point. Someone will be able to tell me in the comments what that would do to a car. But I can't imagine a car moving in reverse and then grabbing the hydro is going to do anything fun.
Well, it'd be the equivalent to an understeer, right? In
Well,
a straight line. It'd
kind
just be
of.
a brake lock-up in a straight line.
Yeah,
assuming
especially with
you're
the
going in
locker.
a straight line. So just to reiterate, you're marking the firewall mark, which you...
Yeah, so that's where, but just so I can see it the whole way around the hose.
Yeah.
See, it only needs a small loop in it.
Just to tidy up the excess, right?
Yeah. Like, this is probably an example of your question before, like, what would you do differently?
Yeah.
This, I would just take more time in measuring the hoses. But unfortunately, when you're on a filming schedule,
Yeah, you've kind of got to get it done a bit quicker, right? It's like the whole time
well, I've
pressure
got to have
thing.
parts ready to go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we go, oh yeah, cool, we've got a day to film this or whatever. We've got to make sure that the parts are correct to be able to actually make said video.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, that's probably really the only thing that I would change, I guess, if I was building a car on less of a timeline. Well, yeah, I'd make all the hard lines a bit neater, and I'd probably would have remade more of the hard lines. Like if it was a customer's car, I'd make all the engine bay hard lines again.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is there's like hours in that.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, well, how much time do you dedicate? Who's going to pay $1,000 or
course.
$1,500 for a hydraulic install?
Yeah.
Like it's not
Especially
really...
on something like this.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like the cars, it's not a big dollar build. These are the firewall markings now. Good.
Yep. All right, hold it there.
And is that against the cable tie?
Not quite. Keep going a little bit.
I think that's on this cable tie now. I don't recommend doing this. Measure your lines properly. People at hell are having a conniption right now. That'll definitely get revisited at some point.
You don't love it because of the maybe restriction the loop
No, there's
creates,
no
or-
restriction or anything. It's just, I don't like it because it's purely tidiness. Like, just look
okay.
shit.
Yeah. I totally forgot anything to do with the thumbnail now that all the parts are in the car. So fresh and so clean. Should I actually be in there?
No, not yet. I'll do like an initial suck first.
Okay. Oh no. Oh, that's fine.
Lucky the tyres are wide enough.
Yeah.
Bang, straight on the face. Obviously hasn't had a proper brake bleed in some time because the fluid here is brown and the fluid in the master cylinder was green. Old Harry Harper job.
Checking for leaks.
Well, there's drip over here, but I don't know if it's residual. Such a shit spot for a bleed nipple. Just because of where it is. Like, it's literally right next to the upright.
Oh yeah.
Like, the nipple should be there,
Yeah, true.
but they put it right at the front.
Ten and hold.
Yep. Again?
5 and hold.
Yeah, one more time.
5 and hold.
That'll do. Well, another pretty successful episode. We got the hydro in, brake lines all chopped up and teed up. The ABS has been hydraulically deleted, but as I mentioned, electronically it still somewhat functions. Going forward, we will completely remove the unit. We can tune the ECU so that it doesn't need a vehicle speed input, but currently, oh, the light just died. Currently, if we actually remove it now, the ECU will go into limp mode, then we'll have like 3,500 RPM speed cut and all sorts of useless things. So being that we are going to try to make an event this coming weekend in real time, so by the time you guys see this video, that event will have happened, and forewarning, we're going to film it, so sorry, but not sorry. But yeah, it's all come together pretty well. I had actually hoped to be a little bit further into the project before testing it, but I still feel like it'll be a good shakedown to just see where we're at. In the next episode, we're most likely going to be doing a steering lock mod and chucking our Shockworks coilovers in. So yeah, fingers crossed for that to come into fruition, and then we can do some more skids. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. And Gian's nodding because he's like, yeah, I'm going to put my door into that door. I can already see.
On the ASAP.
Oh, bro, you're so thirsty for an accident.
Got to make good videos, you know.
Tell me your ICC has problems without telling me your body control module's had a meltdown. So look, you can't actually lock or unlock it with the button, but if you go hard on the temperature, you can play tunes with your central locking.
Seems like a less than ideal safety feature.
That's somewhat silly. I love that I painted the inside of the roof white, then proceeded to pressure wash the interior.